Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih kepada sahabat semua kerana dapat hadir dalam BL Chat, Casual Chat siri pertama berkaitan dengan SBL. So untuk memberkati majlis, kita mulakan dengan bacaan surah Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah. Alhamdulillah minasyaitanir rajim.
Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Blessed Friday, everyone. So before we start, so let's look into the participants of today. So shall I move on with English fully? Or should I be mixing it with Malay? Because I saw some of the participants who are expatriates. Okay. Right. So so we shall start now. So part of the agenda for today has been outlined here. So welcome to our BL Casual Chat Series number 1 for the year 2023. So welcome to what is substitute blended learning. So this BL Casual Chat Series has been ongoing for a year now from last year, if I'm not mistaken, but it was focused more on the blended learning. So meaning on how we want to create awareness and we want to revive that spirit of having to adopt blended learning in our classes. And today I'm going to divert a bit into the new initiative that Unit 10 is embarking on. So we have the substitute blended learning, or in short, we have SBL. So for SBL itself, it's quite new to us, but we have been doing this for some time due to the recent pandemic. And of course, we suddenly transited to classroom environment, physical classes into online environment. And we understand that we can actually adopt online learning better. So today I'm just going to brief you on the SBL. How is it going to be different from our practice of blended learning at Unit 10? And then I'm going to go into detail of the courses, which is going to be selected, or perhaps what we can do with our courses to be converted into SBL. And then we're going to talk a bit on the benefits to students as well as the challenges that we're going to face, not only for the instructors, the lecturers, but also for the students. And then we're going to conclude the whole session. And for information, we have in line of a BL Casual Chat series to guide you through for this SBL implementation, because if you probably knew, TLC had blasted an email concerning a circular on the implementation, the full rollout of SBL in Unit 10 courses. So that means we're just going to start in semester 1, 2023, 2024, and rest assured that we shall be ready, okay, with a plan of emulating or trying to absorb SBL into your courses. Believe it or not, we have done this before. It's just going to be much systematic approach, and to ensure that it can be done with plans. Okay, the key word of the day is planning. That makes things possible. So without further ado, let's look into the definition of blended learning. So I'm going to just talk about blended learning at Unit 10. What is the course expectation of a blended learning practice? And then we're going to see what we can do with SBL into our courses. So here, let's start with the definition of blended learning. So for blended learning itself, you can see from there, we know that we have been doing this all these years ever since. So we had the conventional face-to-face, and then everything will be wrapped around the classroom behind the 4 walls. Okay, and how we're going to extend that approach of teaching would be using the online mode. So we went to using online virtual learning methods. So that one was critical back into 2020. And Unit 10 had moved on into recovering mode, whereby we offered courses in hybrid teaching and learning environment. So that means partially it can be face-to-face, partially it can be virtual learning. And of course, now we are back to normal as usual. But the idea is that after looking to what we can do with online learning, believe me or not, it's going to stretch out into more students, and we can create more engagement with the students. So this is seen as being the benefits to the students. And combining these two approaches, we understand it is called the blended learning. Blended learning is vast. So under the blended learning itself, we have in fact, digital learning that has been offered by the Digital Learning Center. We have MOOC, we have MC, we have ODL. Those are blended learning. But according to the term blended learning, we go by the definition. That means we have certain percentage to see. So for a percentage to happen is that if we take certain tiny, say for example, 30% for the minimum, so that means it's already blended. So that's how we define the course delivery. But if it were to be more than 79%, that is already known or termed as the ODL course. So that is something else. But they are still blended learning approach. Okay, so this one can be seen here. Of course, I'm not going to rephrase this particular definition, but what we need here is to complement the student's experience. What we have in the classroom is not simply just lectures, lectures, and lectures. It's not only the instructor speaking, talking all the time, but the students as well are going to be enjoying your moments of activities held in the classroom. So this is what we believe can be extended with online mode. And for here, we have a certain control of time, certain control of the materials is pretty much important, because when we have things in the classroom, it might be different from what we experience online. So this is something critical for us to adapt to. Okay, so that is blended learning. Next, I'm going to talk about the BL delivery. So there's something different. I'm going to casually convey to you the information of what makes a BL course. So a BL course is regarded as a course that has the combination of face-to-face and then a bit of an online. And we can have it in terms of percentage. The distribution of face-to-face to that of online will be determined by this percentage seen here. So you have the BL course treated as a BL course only if you have the online component from 30%. That's going to be the least, the minimum, and then maximum stretch to 79% components, okay, for the online mode. But you might be thinking, have I been doing this all the time, all this while teaching my course? So this is something for you to think about. How far do I implement BL in my courses? Is it just coming to class, that 3 hours class in the classroom located here at BN block or BM block, and then start seeing the students and lecture just like that? Is that considered as BL course? So if it were to be 100% BL without the help of the Brighton LMS, then that means you are doing it 100%. By definition, a non-BL course is traditional mode, but still a little component of online delivery is required because you use your Brighton course page and then you uploaded your course outline. But later on, you believe that I've been doing BL all this time. But again, if you bring this BL into our BL courses at Uni 10, we have to adhere to these 4 different levels. I'm going to talk about that soon. Just to recap, before we go further, dive further into SBL. And what makes a BL course that can be modified or formulated to get an SBL course? So what are the things that we need to do? So from 30% to 79%, that means it's just focusing on the online mode. And in fact, SBL is just adopting and focusing more and put more weightage into the online delivery rather than focusing on your face-to-face delivery. So is this something which is different from the previous implementation? What did I do? If I have online class at night, for example, is that considered blended learning? Yes, but how much are you going to have that blended learning delivery from week 1 until week 14? What is the percentage? Are you going to meet the student all the time online? Or is it going to be a sudden shift from face-to-face to online mode without telling the students prior to the class? So this is something that we can talk about when it comes to the challenges. Right. So if suddenly you feel that because there's so many Monday classes being cancelled. I wish that I can just opt for online courses or online classes. So you might be falling into this category. So be very careful because for ODL course, it is anything regarded from 80% to 100% distribution of the online mode. So be extra careful because you don't want to convert your ordinary courses, especially at the COE. We have courses which is supposed to be delivered physically. The test assessments, all of them are going to be physically assessed. We have to be extra careful when selecting the activities or perhaps the learning material, the type of assessment, and then convert it and count it or calculate it to the proportion of 80% to 100%. So this is something which is giving you somewhat like a boundary to think about. Everything is converted to online. So what's left into the physical classroom? Yes, the registrar office has given you the timetable to utilize the classroom. Can you do online class in the classroom? So I pose that question to you to think about, but if I do that regularly in the classroom, online, does that mean that I'm into ODL course now? So that might be having a different term described as having the hybrid presence of everyone in the classroom. So I'm not going to delve into the hybrid mode, but today we're just going to discuss how we're going to convert our BL course later into SBL, or can we say SBL ready? Right. So I put here clearly, it's going to be from 30% up till 79%. So say, for example, okay, use a calculator here. So I have a 3 credit hour course of 14 weeks. 14 weeks, I meet regularly with my students 3 hours. So that means 42 hours, okay, per semester. And then the least that I can get is 30%. So how much is that? 12.6 hours of online. So that is the minimum that I can teach the student with online delivery. But I can also stretch until 42 times 0.79. I can have regular online class activity, online mode, up to 33.18 hours or 33 hours of that whole semester. But of course, it's questionable. Will the student like it? They prefer to have face-to-face delivery. So we're going to talk about the challenges, but rest assured, it comes with benefits as well. Okay, so we're going to talk about that later. Right. This is a casual chat. So let me know if you do have questions in between, because I can't see you. Okay, so just unmute yourself and start to throw me questions if you have. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next level. Okay, so what do we have here? Once upon a time in 2016, if you can't remember the history, we do have these 4 different levels of blended learning introduced to our courses at Uni10. So what do we have here is that we call it the BOLD 2025 initiative there. So why do we need the question why? The big why? To implement BL, I think I find it, sometimes it's wasting time because you need to do a lot of preparation, yes, but you can have a different approach to different types of students. That's the thing. For blended learning, it's not just focusing on one single type of student because this is to accommodate the different styles of learning of that 40 students or 100 students of yours. So in a class theatre, for example, 100 students have different learning styles to see. So which one is actually fitting them to learn? So we have to prepare the course materials. We have to design. The keyword is design. Design the teaching and learning activities that suit them at that particular time, and then design the class assessment. It's not simply as saying, hey, tomorrow on Saturday, we do have a quiz, just a quick quiz, 10 minutes on Brighton. As simple as that. But you need to remember, we need to design for the whole semester. We understand the nature of our lecturers. We sometimes doing things the last minute, yes. But if we want to talk about SBL or substitute blended learning, this is of a higher level of preparation. So we need to be prepared with the semester, perhaps 2 weeks prior to the semester starts, that we have already decided on the materials, on the type of assessments, and the type of learning and teaching activities for the students to do. And this is incorporated in the time plan, not the assessment, the teaching plan for that particular semester. Coming back to this, okay, so how many of you have updated your BL levels until today? Okay, so I'm about to disclose the percentage of who has not actually ticked or declare your BL level on portal. So BL level 1, still a handful of lecturers not doing this.
Ada soalan.
Yes, okay. Soalan, yes. Please speak up. Can't see you. Hold on. Is this one? Okay. Now a different screen. Participant. Yes, Dr. Nur Syamsia. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Sorry. I thought you asked to raise your hand. Who has set the blended learning in the system? I've done that. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Bukan soalan. Tadi sebut angkat tangan ke? Tak.
Okay. So it's just saying that confirming I have done my job at the early of the semester. Thank you, Dr. Nur Syamsia. Okay, no worries. Okay, it's just a reminder. Okay, rather than always seeing that information or reminder coming from the TLC email, start of the semester. Okay, so I believe from time to time, even the casual chat, I would like to request to anyone who hasn't actually declared your BL level to do so. There's only one, right? How about another reminder? This is week 4. Please use your Brighton class page. Why? Because we found out a handful of lecturers are not still updating the course page. It's blank. Okay. Why do I say so? This is just an advertisement. Okay. Because I'm here talking about the BL level 1. So it's too sad because the students were running around asking, where can I find the course materials, ma'am? Excuse me, sir. Yes. Is there more soalan? Okay, hold on. Yeah?
Video. Dekat dalam chat.
Okay, let's look into the chat. Okay, let's look into the chat now. Dr. Tan says T. What is that? Okay. Right. Eddie, adakah aktiviti flip class boleh dikategorikan sebagai satu approach untuk SBL? Ya, jawapannya ya. Tapi saya akan ceritakan nanti. Boleh? Flip class. Okay, sekarang ni I'm talking about the level 3 flip classroom. Okay, remember I'm talking about the definition. Definition tu penting. It's very, very critical. This is the foundation of everything. Okay, so let me get back to the BL story. Word of advertisement, please update your course level. Please update all your course page materials. Then we can talk about SBL. So having said that, coming back to this, everyone at Unit 10 are now busy with their enhanced learning. So correct me if I'm wrong, everyone should be here at enhanced learning. What does it mean? I'm not expecting a colorful Brighton course page. I'm not expecting you to do animation here, going here to there. No, it's just your course materials would be sufficient. You put in your Padlet or perhaps just use the built-in activity types. Okay, so you can use your assignment, you can use your quizzes or assessment. So that is regarded as BL level 2. So please upgrade yourself, okay, because we have done this ever since 2021. So please ensure that you don't miss that. Next, BL level 3, flipped classroom. It's hard to do this because I can say when you want to use flipped classroom, that means you need a hell of time for preparation. So what does that mean? Before, during, and after. So you have to critically design each stage of that flipped classroom activity. It's not just as easy as I have a video, watch this video. I'm sorry, I'm on emergency leave. No, that's not flipped classroom. What is a flipped classroom? A flipped classroom is a carefully designed activity, okay, a comprehensive with some structure and outline to tell the student, to let the students be informed of the activities that they're about to do, what will be the objectives, what will be the outcome, and where can I get all the resources, and what's next after the discussion in classroom. And then you might want to recap using quizzes or perhaps an assignment or just a quick reflection. There are many things to do, yes, but flipped classroom needs a carefully designed, structured outline. And make sure that the resources are ready, accessible at any time. Rather than, there's a video I posted on Brighton, and then you're going to be doing this, watching the video, and I'm going to ask you a question tomorrow. Will the student remember what you mentioned in class? Let alone the students who were absent during that class. So it must be having a lesson plan. Just like what we did earlier for flipped classroom, you need to prepare your lesson plan. So at Unit 10, everyone who says that you are doing BL level 3, you are actually doing 4 minimum lesson plans. But don't worry, 14 weeks, you can strategically place all your lesson plans accordingly. As for myself, if I were to do or perform flipped classroom, that means I just have to find difficult topics, a bit of reading, a bit of preparation, or perhaps calculation. Even tutorial can be done in this fashion. Okay, but just come up with a proper lesson plan. Next, BL level 4. We haven't gone into SBL yet. Too much of definition, yes. BL level 4, adaptive learning. Adaptive learning at Unit 10 is simple approach. We don't invest into a machine or a server which is of high-end artificial intelligence incorporated. No, we don't have that. But for Brighton, we opt for something easier, which is lesson, which is activity type on Brighton. And also, for those who were using a lot of tutorial questions, you are using this computerized homework developed by Associate Professor Dr. Azri. So that computerized homework will assess them, the students, according to the level of understanding. If they pass certain levels, and then they're going to proceed to the next one. So it looks like gamification a bit. But that is BL level 4. At Unit 10, if I have done enhanced learning, should I implement flip teaching and then adaptive learning? No, you can always split into either taking level 3 or level 4. You don't have to do both. But let me remind you, your course might be suitable for flipped classroom. Some other courses may not be, so choose wisely on the approach. Else, just settle on enhanced learning. Pretty much activities there for enhanced learning, a lot of educational tools and tech that can be used into your activities in the classroom. Okay, so let me check again. Any question? Yes, Dr. Nur Shamsiah said, create teaching plan. Okay, so I'm moving on to the surprise, which is the SBL. What about it? Okay. Ta-da! You can see a diagram there? Yep. Okay, bigger. What about this diagram? Remember when I said just now? What is the definition of a blended learning course? What is regarded as blended learning course? If it were to be 100%, hello students in the classroom, I don't have any course page, you just need this handout. So that is face-to-face, 100% classroom environment. So not blended learning. But if you have a bit on the course outline, I have some slides on the course page, a bit there, 29%, still regarded as not blended learning course. But if you calculate a bit of calculation, yes, between 30% until 79% would be online. And then this one. So if that would be the case, that means I believe you are ready to convert your course into substitute blended learning. I haven't talked about what makes a substitute blended learning course, but I use the foundation to help you understand, assess your course. Is it blended learning yet? Has it reached that 30% to 79%? Or is it actually looking so much online if I exceed 79%? But coming back to reality, blended learning course just gives you the allowance of 30% until 79% of online delivery. Online delivery means course material, teaching and learning activities, as well as assessment. So we're going to incorporate these three. But what about the face-to-face component? You can do this anytime you wish. You have classrooms, if I'm not mistaken. You can always have your students gathered in the classroom and still doing blended learning activities. So mind you that if I show the slides, okay, from the projector, is that blended learning? Is that blended learning? Question yourself. Okay, I do Padlet activity in the classroom. Is that blended learning? Oh, it's online.
No.
So what do you think? Okay, simple question. Oh, is it hybrid? Oh, to tickle you a bit with the fact that you are not doing blended learning. Okay, during class, you are sitting with your students, look into the slide on this page, blah, blah, blah. You are just having the help of the projector. You're using tools. What am I doing now? I'm having a casual chat with you from 10:30 until 11:30 today via Microsoft Teams. I'm watching my students doing the work, performing the activity, look into the lecture slide. Is this considered blended learning? Question yourself. Let's see. Who wants to answer? Is that considered blended learning? What do you think? Just a raise of hand. If you say yeah, yes, it's okay. Blended learning. I'm doing blended learning now. Is that true? No. Okay, why? Question yourself. As if I'm doing a lecture now. Isn't it online delivery? What do you think? I'm not doing flipped classroom. I'm just doing a normal lecture. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to do this topic, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to have an activity today. Online. Is this delivery called online? Treated as or defined as online? Because most of the time we thought that we are doing online. But actually, this is just the help of the technology. Be careful. I'm doing synchronous face-to-face. So that's another definition. But I don't want to confuse you. We are online now. All of you are students, for example. I'm the lecturer here, the instructor. We are going to do activity. Is this online? Online? Okay. So this is regarded as online delivery, online lecture. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to explain to you. If I have, say, for example, Mentimeter, or perhaps a Padlet activity or a quiz. Now, it's regarded as assessment online via Microsoft Teams. But if I have everything, this is online. There's another question here. Not in the slide, synchronous and asynchronous activities. One is with the lecturers present, the other one without the lecturers presence. So if you say, do this activity on Brighton week 5, okay, do this quiz. on Saturday at 9 p.m. Okay, worst come to worst, let me just bring your attention to do this quiz on Sunday. There was one time on a public holiday at 9 p.m. Okay, on Brighton. Is that regarded as quiz online delivery, online mode? I get you, Eddie.
Yes.
No assessment on Sunday. Ha ha ha. Okay, I'm just teasing you. Whether you remember or not, we cannot conduct continuous assessment from Friday until Sunday or public holiday. Even it's just a 10 minutes quiz online. Okay, let me just get that thing right. SBL 2. Oh, we're not talking about the category yet, Dr. Vivian. We are talking about whether now our session is online delivery. Can we say this is SBL? Because I'm just throwing you questions now. You're having an online class using Microsoft Teams. Is that regarded as blended learning online? The component. Remember we're talking about the component? Where is the component? Here. Are we here?
It is online delivery kan? Cuma
Yes.
blended tu tak fulfill lagi sebab blended there are many criteria. Kalau
Yes,
online tu is
exactly.
just one of the criteria, right? Betul ke?
True. Yes, but remember we're talking about the three components that makes a lesson or a lecture. You must have the materials. Number 2 would be the activities. Number 3 would be the quiz. Okay, the assessment to ensure that the students had learned from the session. Now I'm just lecturing. That is regarded as one of the component of
the blended learning.
yes, the blended
Okay.
learning. No, it's not the blended learning. The lesson. The lecture, yes, the session. Okay. And then after this, if I say that, okay, I'm going to stop the lecturing. Is there anything that you want to ask? Okay, let's have a teaching and learning activity. I don't say it like that in the class. Let's have a reflection activity, for example. Okay. And then I start to have a mentee here, say, for example. So that is regarded as activity online during lecture, yes. But at the same time, okay, 10 minutes before we dismiss the class, I'm going to give you a 5-minute quiz on Microsoft Forms. Okay, so you can access it here. Okay, I'll give the link, for example, and then I'm maintaining the class online. Is that considered as online component here? This one. Everyone? Because I'm just, I'm still on the surface. Huh? Yes?
Yes, sebab the assessment.
Yes, it has the teaching, learning, activity. It has the delivery of the lecture and also a recap using the quiz. Okay, so that is regarded as online activity that you have been doing all this while. That is the online I'm asking. Right. What happened if I don't have this lecture, but I have somewhat like an instruction? Today, because of the public holiday on Monday, I wish that you can complete this assignment, lesson plan. Okay, good. You have it. Instruction. Step 1, what do you need to do? Watch this video, blah, blah, blah. A recorded lecture video probably. And then answer these questions at the end. And then what do you think about the lecture? Bring to the discussion during class. Okay. So that is flipped classroom actually. The model is flipped classroom, but is that considered online? What do you think? The instruction I posted on Brighton, for example, because I want to compensate my public holiday lecture. I missed 2 hours, for example. Yes. Okay. So we have, everyone says yes. Good. So that is the understanding. So you are about to go deep into SBL now. Remember, we're focusing on the online component. We don't talk about the physical classroom anymore. A lot of things happening with the online session. Yes. We can do it during class hour. That is synchronous. We can do it outside of class hour. Not in our regular schedule. You need to get permission from the HOD, yeah? Yes, online or not online, you have to still get permission from the management. If I do not conduct lecture, but the instructions are there for the students to follow on Brighton course page, for example, that is considered offline, but Is it online? Now I'm confusing you. Instructions there on course page. But I don't see the students to do the thing one by one. But they have to be given somewhat like 4 days or 5 days before we meet again during our lecture official time. And then we're going to discuss the outcome. Is that actually online? So I'm posing a question. What do you think? Yes, online, but it is actually offline. Okay, online here carries the definition of these two meaning. One is synchronous, what we are doing now, synchronous time series, okay, real time. And then we have asynchronous. Asynchronous means is the student's time, anytime they wish to do the assignment or perhaps the activities. And then we meet again. Please make sure that every time that you assign your students with assignments which is asynchronous, you need to discuss and recap. Always do that. So that is considered this one online. So I believe you get what I mean. What are the online components that you can get from your lecture? If you go to the classroom, this is the thing. It falls into this category. What is it again? From 30% until 79% of the whole semester courses, the weightage or the contact hour will be regarded as online if it falls into that percentage. Okay. Do we need to worry so much about this face-to-face? No. The idea is that we focus more on the online proportion. So this is what we're going to go into next. All right. So this is what we need. And I'm going to do something under a formula for the online itself. Okay, so how do I get out from here? Let's look into this. Remember focusing on the online still. Okay, so I go a bit explaining on the ratio. So it is divided or distributed into three. One is the learning content. The other one is learning activities. And finally, you have your assessments. And from there, for the learning content, it carries 40% of the calculation. Online component only. Okay, so that means if I have online component, I wish to have the minimum, which is 30%. So 30%, how many hours? Then you have to subdivide it into the ratio of 40. And then learning activities, another 40. Okay, to start with. And then for assessment, you have 20. 40, 40, 20. So that would be the portion that you need to worry about for the online component. So that is what we have for the substitute blended learning. Do we worry again about the physical classes? No, it's just that do whatever you wish in the physical classroom. But when it comes to the online component, it must be designed carefully so that it is what you deliver from what you promised. Okay, so for the learning content, let's get back to this. It's based on your lecture content, blah, 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 video recording, everything. Remember, it can be asynchronous or synchronous. So we can take these two into consideration. So what are considered as learning content? So you have video recording, audio and screen, blah, 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 narrative presentation, you have simulation, you love animation, moving here and there, people waiting in the lobby, and then you have your practical video for labs. Who says that laboratory cannot do anything on technology? You could. You can have a picture, say for example, an engine, and then you're going to describe each and every single parts or components visually doing it, and then you put or upload on your course page. That is going to be interesting. Learning content, right? Learning activities. What are the activities that can be done? Okay, online. There are many. Okay, it can be discussion like what we're doing now, and then we have tutorials, learn together. In fact, you're using Microsoft Teams as official teleconferencing tool. You can separate them or split them into groups or perhaps channels and many more. And you can collaborate using Microsoft whiteboards, or perhaps you can use Jamboard from Google, and a lot of things can be happening when you have Lively, Kahoot or Padlet, anything, gamification together included in your lecture. So this is learning activities, but the proportion is just 40%. Okay. So what about assessment? Online, we have done this before. Yes, you're going to have quizzes, you're going to be having tests, and then you have peer evaluations up to you and other measuring methods. Okay. You can have reflection of portfolio, but perhaps for reflection, because time is of constraint, you can always allow for a 5-day completion. Just remember that you planned ahead. So that means if you want to have portfolio, it's going to be an accumulated task throughout the semester. Don't just simply say, today I want you to do a portfolio and I'm going to expect a complete portfolio next week. So that is something which is not carefully designed, I can say. Allow the students to attempt all this in their own way and also give them some time to complete this meaningfully. Why? Because you don't want to overburden the students. It has something to do with the student learning time. If you have so much of online component, you should realize they spend more time accessing the materials and doing their own learning, and doing the activity online is going to be different from what we had for the face-to-face classroom environment, because you're just going to be there. Perhaps you want to prepare something, but they are there and then performing that activity. But for online, they've got to prepare, read ahead, and then try to digest it a bit and try to understand the materials, give extra time. So this must be incorporated in your plannings. But how do I do that? We discuss this next week in the next series of the casual chat. So far, so good? So far, so good? No question? Okay, so let's jump in.
Ada soalan tak?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What about... which one is that? I saw something. It's too quick. I saw something.
The laboratory practical video tu tadi you dah explain. Okay, I dah faham. Yang SLT for this, macam berat jugalah, because they're working on their own for a long time.
True. That's the reason why when we want to supply them that kind of video-based assignment or assessment, they have to be given ample time. So for example, like myself, I'm practicing assignment which is stretching from the first week until the third week. So meaning I'm allocating 3 weeks continuously for them to approach the assignment. So in between them learning and discovering something, especially when it comes to software, they are going to stumble upon something that they are not familiar with. So they're going to get back to me. In terms of SLT, that amount of time, I believe it is sufficient for them to complete the assignment. And remember, assignment with SLT would be somehow either guided or not guided. So when we say guided, you are going to prepare instructions for them, what to do, procedural kind of instructions, especially when it comes to software. If it were to be essay assignment, you might want the students to read the articles or etc. and then write down their thoughts and submit it as an assignment or reflection. So give them ample time to do that. It's just, you're doing injustice to the students if you say, prepare an essay tonight, okay, submission. So that is something which is killing all the students. If you don't plan with the SLT, considering the SLT as well into the assignment, just be extra careful with that. We're going to talk about SLT next week, actually, but today is more on the definition. Okay, Dr. Noshamsa?
Azrul
Okay,
ada
thank
soalan
you.
juga. Azrul, you check atas. Dia belah atas ni.
Hold on. I'm scrolling. Everything is yes.
Atas lagi.
Lagi.
Azrul.
Zafri, yes plan. I got
Azrul.
it. 10:58. Nak cadang TLC a digital learning team to create template page design yang kita boleh import. This will help us especially yang tak pandai nak cantikkan page. No worries, Mr. Azrul. I'm coming out with a series of brighten up your LMS, okay, workshop series.
Wow.
Okay. Right? I know there is a need for us to move from something which is not so, I'm not saying ugly, yeah. I'm just saying that not very nicely visually beautified. Okay, so you can have a sense of template Good idea. So perhaps I'm going to prepare a template for you. What to be filled in, what is expected from the students. You know that everyone now with the LMS will be upgraded to somewhat like a self-learning, self-guided learning thingy on Brighton page. Okay, so meaning it's just not simply slides, no instruction. Suddenly assignment, no instruction. No, you don't do that. You're going to provide some of the instructions for the students to see. Here are the slides. Okay, found from this lecture, blah, 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 week what and week what, or perhaps by topics. It's up to you, but ensure that the students can find and locate all these materials nicely and systematically. That's the important one, because you don't want to, you know, sometimes too many or too much flower decoration is also not recommended. So you just need to be yourself, no problem with that. But yes, of course, we're going to have some templates with that. Okay, Encik Azrul? Nak cantikkan page tu would be, okay, so the next workshop series.
Dr. Nur Syamsidah ada tulis something.
Okay, I'm going down.
The first one. The last kali.
The first one. Oh, is
The
it
last
okay?
kali, last.
Okay. 11:18 AM. Is it okay as long as it is practical and accessible kan? Dr. Nur Syamsiah, if you look into your page, do you think that you sometimes scrolling up and down to find your material? Ada tak? Honestly, of
Tak.
course.
Because I
Okay.
put a group lah in the group. One
group.
topic tu has for chat, the slides, and then another one for assessment, a quiz, and then the assignment and the lab. So that's how
Exactly.
you do it. I don't know. Kena ada form kot, tanya dengan student how they find it, the slide. Maybe at least we get the feedback from the student if it's accessible or not.
We're going to start doing that ourselves lah kan, because we want to evaluate our course page, and then we want to find how we can refine the presentation of our slide course materials too. So what we need to do, perhaps Mr. Azrul said something about having a template. That would be nice, but I understand all of you have your own design and own preference in supplying the material. So we don't have any, you don't have any obligation to choose any template or whatever. No need. As long as it's easily accessible, that's one thing for sure. Sometimes students are that, where can I find the assignment? They forgot to click. It's actually in the topic in folder or etc. Okay, sometimes it's just an exploded view, expanded view. So it's just something that they are lacking of. Sometimes they need to be told where to find this and that. So that's something about the Brighton Cars presentation. It's okay. Where was I? Did I go into this? Have I?
Dah.
This one?
Yang ni belum. Ni belum.
Okay. Thank you very
Questions.
much. Okay. So everyone, so I would like to call your attention to how are we going to design our course? 14 weeks. 3 credit hour, that means 42 hours of meeting them in the classroom as promised at the venue. But somehow, using some, okay, the ratio, remember 40, 40, 20. The least that we can do is to limit ourselves to 30% only throughout the semester for online, okay, thingy, online components. So that means out of the, this is SLT, yeah, this is not 42 hours, the one that I mentioned just now. This one incorporates the student learning time as well. So this is just by the book, by calculation, approximation only. So I'm going to spend or consider about 36 hours for the students for the online component. So this semester, I'm starting with the pilot courses as well from my fellow friends to do and incorporate the SBL, a percentage. What has been done is that we actually need to fill a template, promise our students about what's happening throughout the semester. Which week will be considered online fully, which week will be considered face-to-face. So we need to dictate that to them. So 30% of this will be online learning materials and activities. Remember, just now 40, 40, 20. And whatever happens in the classroom is up to you. So there's no restriction at all. What would be our concern would be how you design this 30% for the 3 credit hour course. This is just an example. So 36 hours minus the one that you have conducted your lecture in the classroom, and this shall be the student learning time. Perhaps the assignment takes like 6 hours to complete, so that one would be also included in these hours. All right. Okay, so the same case for this one. So if you are teaching 4 credit hour course and you select you want to have 40% of online, so what will happen? So this will be aggregated throughout the whole plan of the semester. Okay, so this is 96 to 64 hours, 4 credit hours course. This is an example, yeah? So, so 2-hour course, so you can also opt for 50-50 implementation, and then you're going to decide to have 40 hours, including of the student learning time, to have your 40, 20 approach. So this is for the different credit hours, because it needs to determine how much time are you going to allocate for the online component. So far so good? Okay, so I'm going to give you this materials data. Okay, any more question? All right, so perhaps I need to check. No question. Okay, cool. All right. So now I'm going to go to the last content of the casual chat, which is not so casual, isn't it? What are the benefits and what are the challenges? So as you can see, I'm just providing you with some keywords. The benefits will be there, abundant, because you can become flexible in your lectures. Why? Because I can decide, oh, I have a conference in week 3 next semester, so I'm going to go online. So I'm going to prepare the material ahead. So you become a planner. So then you're going to also accommodate students with accessibility options, meaning special topics, very hard kind of topics. So needs more calculation. So you're going to have accessibility, provide them with the online assessment, provide them with the online tutorial or lectures, so that they are going to be accommodated in such way. Online, they can repeat watching the videos. And then you want to ensure that there'll be a continuity of learning. Why? Because sometimes, perhaps, touch wood, you're going to be sick tomorrow, for example, and then you have a lecture, so you need to prepare ahead. So you have recorded some lectures, or you have actually provided some assessment or activities online. So you can always assign this to the students in your absence. Challenges, of course. Most importantly, every time that you go to the class, if you do have assignments with computers, or perhaps have you accessed your Brighton course page lately? So we talk about the students' perception of the course materials, everything on that particular LMS. Is it helpful or not? Depends on the course structure. And part of the technical difficulties we are facing would be students who are not interested in online learning. That is not technical, actually. This is just something about how you engage the students with the materials. And students do not have, they have unstable internet connectivity, intermittent internet issues every time from the accommodation. How do we fix this? So provide asynchronous lecture, or perhaps asynchronous activity, so that they don't have to worry, I have to do it now, the quiz is now, but I can't access the internet. So we have to think about that, students in our mind. Pedagogical adaptation, what is that? That means sometimes we need to somehow offer a variety of teaching and learning activities, and then we need to adapt this kind of flipped classroom, and sometimes we need to go with computerized homework. Up to you, as long as you understand what it needs to convey or deliver your online lecture. Okay, so part of the conclusion for today. Okay, so we finally here, because we only have 3 minutes left. So let me click on this. SBL, substitute blended learning, gives you flexibility. Yes, and then you should be trying this. Perhaps in the next special semester, if you're teaching, you can always think ahead of how you want to prepare the course semester outline. And the features would be considering both sides, which is the benefits as well as challenges. You do have challenges preparing this ahead. I'm saying that it's going to be time consuming, and then you have to have your students in mind. But of course, what it takes for a successful SBL implementation requires careful planning. And of course, know something about technology. Educational technology is going to help you a lot. And also know how to conduct the lessons. Why? Because if you have the wrong approach and then the students wouldn't get any benefit from there, they might be left questioning, what are you trying to do with the class, sir? Madam, are you trying to do flipped classroom? But there's not enough instruction, so you don't want to end up like that. So key takeaway is that substitute blended learning needs preparation ahead of the semester. And of course, you know when the date of your conferences will be. So slot it in. You're not going to know when you're going to be falling sick, but prepare ahead of all these materials. Put them on Brighton. So we are going to see you again next week in order for us to convert all materials into Brighton course page to be ready with SBL. So I believe questions and answers are just in between the session. But somehow you can still post question on the chat if you wish. Okay, so I'm looking to it. No? Last question, a few questions. You know, 1 hour is not enough. Talk about being casual. Talk about being casual. This is a serious matter. Yes. Next week, until we meet again, we have the next series of SBL. But how do I implement SBL in my course? So meaning I'm going to repeat a bit on the 40-40-20, and as well, I'm going to show you the templates of what we need in order for us to kickstart with SBL straight away. And not to worry too much. Considering the SLT, yes, careful planning, but how do you want to ensure that it is of planned delivery so that you do not suffocate your students? Okay. All right. That's all from me. If you don't have any question, we meet again next week. And how do I implement substitute blended learning? Thank you very much for all your ears.
All right. Thank you.
Dr. Jana.
Thank you very much.
Tolong isi evaluation form.
Oh yeah, that side. Okay, so also fill in the evaluation if you need to know more about, what do you need to know more about